Welcome to The Explainer. You've almost certainly heard the term China Silicon Valley thrown around, but what does that actually mean? Today, we're going to get into the real story because it's not just a spot on a map. It's a completely different vision for technology, and trust me, it's a lot more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. The term is everywhere, right? In tech circles, on the business news. But what is it really? And where would you even find it?
Well, here's a spoiler for you. It's not a single place. You can't just circle it on a map. And the way it operates, it's nothing like the famous one in California. A better way to think about it is like a huge, interconnected technological nervous system.
So if it's not just one place, then what are we talking about? We're really looking at a network of different cities, and each one is highly specialized. They each play a very specific, unique role in this massive tech ecosystem.
And this specialization is really the key to understanding it all. You've got Shenzhen, which is, without a doubt, the Silicon Valley of hardware. That's home to giants like Huawei and the drone maker DJI. Then you have Beijing, which is more like the high-tech command center, where you'll find massive software companies like Baidu and ByteDance. Hangzhou is becoming a real hotspot for AI startups. And you even have cities like Wuxi finding a very specific niche as a chiplet valley, focusing on super important things like semiconductor design.
The scale we're talking about here is just immense. To put it in perspective, just look at Beijing's tech district, Zhongguancun. This isn't just a business park, okay? It's a massive ecosystem with over 10,000 tech companies. It's basically a city within a city, completely dedicated to technology.
So what's driving all of this explosive growth? It's not just venture capitalists throwing money around. The real engine is something much, much bigger. A coordinated, nationwide industrial plan.
At the heart of it is this national policy called Made in China 2025. And the goal is incredibly ambitious. The whole idea is to shift the entire country from its role as the world's factory for low-cost stuff to becoming a global leader in high-tech, critically important technologies. The end game here is self-sufficiency and, down the line, dominance in these fields. And this shows you just how focused the plan is. This isn't a random spray-and-pray approach. It's a very deliberate top-down push into what are, let's face it, the most important industries for the 21st century. We're talking semiconductors, AI, robotics, EVs, and biotech. The whole shebang.
And this kind of top-down approach creates a fundamentally different model for innovation. One that looks very, very different from what we usually see in the West.
This is where you see the crucial difference. The U.S. Silicon Valley model is all about private venture capital, a software-first mindset, and that famous move fast and break things culture. China's model, on the other hand, is built on direct government support and deep, deep connections to its massive hardware and manufacturing base. It's less about freewheeling disruption and a lot more about strategically guided industrial power.
This quote from the founder of Alibaba Cloud, Wang Jane, I think really gets to a core cultural difference. The focus isn't just on a bidding war for the most expensive talent, which you see a lot in the Valley. It's more about building a team of people who are all in, who share this deep, collective belief in the mission. It's just a whole different philosophy about what actually drives innovation.
But of course, a plan this ambitious isn't without its problems. The reality on the ground is always a bit more complicated. For starters, these big tech hubs are facing some serious headwinds. We're seeing slowdowns in foreign investment, major housing shortages that make it hard to attract people, and of course, growing geopolitical tensions. And then, internally, you have the infamous 996 work culture. That's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. That pace raises some pretty serious questions about burnout and whether it's even sustainable in the long run. So, we've looked at the different hubs, the state-led strategy, and the real challenges. So what's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this matter?
I think the most important thing to grasp is that the idea of Silicon Valley isn't some rigid formula that you can just copy and paste anywhere else. It's really a vision for how to create innovation. And what we're seeing here is that that vision can be adapted and reinterpreted in some very powerful ways.
China is absolutely forging its own path. It's a model that's designed to play to its unique national strength, that incredible industrial scale, and that deep integration with hardware manufacturing.
It's not trying to beat Silicon Valley at its own game. It's creating a whole new one.
And that leaves us with this final, really important question. Does technological progress have to follow a single path? China's model, with all of its incredible ambitions and its very real flaws, suggests that maybe the answer is no. It challenges the entire idea that there's only one way to innovate, and it forces us all to rethink what the future of global technology and competition is really going to look like.